Everyone is speaking out about this. And as the regular season comes to a close and the playoff inches closer and closer, some new reports and rumors have started to escalate surrounding Jordan Goodwin and his future in LA. We're going to break down those reports, discuss what it means going forward, as well as break down some comments from Austin Reaves and JJ Redick surrounding Goodwin. We also have some more updates ahead of tonight's big game. But before we get into it, if you're a part of the percentage who aren't subscribed to the channel, this is the place to be for daily Lakers content. Your guys' support has been absolutely unbelievable, so make sure to hit that subscribe button. And thank you guys again for your continued support. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a lot to go over today. Now, obviously, the Lakers play tonight against the San Antonio Spurs without Victor Wembanyama, without De'Aaron Fox. But something that's really started to pick up is the Jordan Goodwin talk, and not just among Lakers fans, but among the coaches, the players, reporters around the NBA, because there's a few different things to go over with this player. He has been playing fantastic since being signed to that two-way contract, but ladies and gentlemen, he is still on a two-way deal. And his future in LA, as it pertains to the postseason, is becoming more murky each and every day. And I want to start with this comment here from JJ Redick. Now, you can see this. JJ says, never judge a player solely based on his box score. Goodwin was incredible for us tonight, and he had 2 points and 4 fouls. He set the tone for us. Now, I covered this in the video a little bit earlier today, but I wanted to go over this. Now, Jordan Goodwin is a very interesting situation. All of us who have been watching, he has factored into the rotation as the backup shooting guard, backup small forward, backup point guard, wherever you want to place him. He has been getting in, and you think back to March 1st, JJ Redick made the comment, Jordan Goodwin is going to be in a rotation going forward. It's going to happen. Ladies and gentlemen, he is still on a two-way deal. And in order for him to be eligible for the playoffs and have a future with this team, he will have to be converted from that contract. And people are really starting to speak out now about A, why that hasn't happened, and B, who are they going to waive or get rid of in order to make room for Jordan Goodwin on the roster. Now, we'll dive into that a little bit later in the video. Cam Reddish has a little bit of a hint there. But again, he has been so incredible, and it's not just JJ Redick. It's the fans, it's the media, it's NBA report. Everybody is talking about Jordan Goodwin. Everyone who watches Lakers games, and it's because he is such an invaluable piece to this team, and he's really had to step up, especially in the absence of Hachimura, where the bench has been, stretched a little bit thin here. And you start to look at some of the, fan reactions from this. Jordan Goodwin giving JJ Redick valuable minutes off the bench yet again. Enters and has the guard D'Lo. Not only did he do a good job, but then proceeds to hit back-to-back threes. Will he make the team officially when going to the playoffs? And this was back on March 10th. He's had some good performances since then as well, and we've been making a bunch of videos on it. It's at the point now for Jordan Goodwin and the Lakers where you need to make room for this guy. There is no doubt about it. It needs to happen because you're at the point with this team, your backup shooting guard depth isn't bad, but it's also not fantastic. I mean, you have Dalton Knecht, who's very streaky. You have Gabe Vincent, also pretty streaky, but decent at times. But Jordan Goodwin is a very good point of attack defender. We saw that in the G League. We saw it in his brief stint in Memphis. Like when this guy was signed by the Lakers, I had a whole video on how he could be an effective point of attack defender. And that's the way that JJ Redick used him. And you could see that in yesterday's game against the Suns. You can see it all the time, especially when JJ Redick goes out of his way to praise a guy like Jordan Goodwin. And there's been a bunch of other comments from JJ Redick specifically about how Jordan Goodwin has been fantastic, even from JJ Redick himself. He reported himself basically that JJ Redick or that Jordan Goodwin has earned a spot on the the NBA team and that he should get converted. All these different things, and that's really what's led to these conversations. And we think back to March 1st, JJ Redick said Jordan Goodwin will be a part of the Lakers rotation going forward. They need to cut someone in order to sign him for the rest of the year so he can join the playoffs. This has been a conversation for a while, and JJ Redick was asked about it fairly recently, about a week ago, and he came out and he basically said, like, he has done enough to deserve that. We just have to, of course, make that happen and continue to play him in good spots and all those different things. And as these new, rumors and reports start to drop, like, there's a bunch of articles dropping surrounding Jordan Goodwin, being worth, being really good, but about how JJ Redick has been praising Goodwin over and over. And you have to assume that this is going to happen, right? You have to assume that. The problem is they still haven't done it. And a brand new comment from Austin Reaves dropped an hour ago. I don't know how out of 30 teams, he's not on a regular contract. He can affect the game without having the ball in his hands. Big shout out to him. He's been a huge factor for us. You now have Austin Reaves going out of his way, praising Jordan Goodwin. And this one's not even praising him. This is directly calling out the Lakers included, saying, how is no one giving this guy a shot on an NBA? I mean, Lakers were obviously the one who gave him a shot now in the two-way deal, but they need to convert him to an NBA deal. Everyone is talking about it now in Lakers land. And it's at the point where if you don't find a way to convert him, it gets a little bit interesting. Also, from 24 hours ago, from Trevor Lane, can't imagine any way that the Lakers don't give Jordan Goodwin a standard contract before the end of the season to make him playoff eligible. On an 0-4 skid, badly needing a win, he started against Phoenix. Clearly, a ton of confidence in the two-way player. And this rumor here, or sorry, this tweet here, it summarizes it fairly well from Trevor Lane. Like, unless he gets injured, there's no way you don't convert into a standard contract, because there is multiple times throughout the playoffs. And yesterday, I'm not going to say it felt like a playoff game, but it was one the Lakers desperately needed to win now that Luka's back and all those things. They started Jordan Goodwin, but they also, like, his impact is seen, and he doesn't need to score in order for his impact to be seen. And that's different than a guy like Knecht, and a little bit different than a guy like Gabe Vincent. He has more of a Jared Vanderbilt role in that regard, but with a bit more of a bag offensively. Like, if Jordan Goodwin can hit his threes, like a 30% shooter this year, whatever it is, high 20s, low 30s, if he can hit his threes, his open ones, he is an unbelievable player. And he's still fairly young, right? So you're at the point now where you can sign him to a standard contract and also have him in the rotation for the rest of the season. But there's a good chance that JJ Redick would use him in the playoffs if needed, right? Like, it's at the point now where not only are you going to use him in the regular season to help you get by throughout these injuries, you can use this guy in the playoffs as well. He's been a part of the rotation. He literally is one of the first guys subbed in or starting when there's injuries. At the point now where this needs to happen, Austin Reaves agrees. Everybody agrees. There's tons of articles being dropped about it, simply because everyone is speaking out about the fact that Jordan Goodwin needs to be a Los Angeles Laker, full time, I guess. And he's been playing a ton of games with the Lakers, but converting his contract needs to happen. Now, as you start to ask who you get rid of, it got to be Cam Reddish, right? Cam Reddish or Alex Len. And I'm of the thought that Alex Len probably doesn't need to be in a Lakers uniform anymore. He is getting outplayed by, of course, Jackson Hayes, Trey Jemison, even Christian Koloko now is getting minutes ahead of him. And he had a bit of a rough first quarter last night against, I guess yesterday afternoon against the Suns, but he still bounced back, had a decent, end of the game, second half, whatever it was. Alex Len is almost useless on this team. If you don't want to get rid of Cam Reddish, which you also probably should, because when they're running 7 guys, they had Bronny James ahead of Cam Reddish for development. Like, there's no reason to have Cam Reddish on this team. Now, obviously, you had to make the financials work. Get this done, get it out of the way, and let Jordan Goodwin now reward him for the impact that he's had in this team, because it's been paramount and it's been very good. Let me know down below what your thoughts are on all this. It needs to happen, no doubt about it. A couple other things before we wrap up here. What Lakers fans are rooting for today? Grizzlies lose to the Kings. So in case, ahead of tonight's games, in case you're wondering who you want in order, of course, for the Lakers to gain some ground on that 2 seed, you want the Grizzlies, Rockets, Wolves, Nuggets, and of course the Lakers to win, but the rest of those teams to lose. It's going to be interesting because Nuggets Warriors is super close. If you're battling for the 2 seed, you'd rather the Lakers obviously would rather the Nuggets lose. But if you're kind of worried about the Warriors a little bit, that one's kind of a win-win or lose-lose, depending on what side of the fence you're on. Obviously, you want the Grizzlies to lose to the Kings, you want the Rockets to lose to the Sixers, and Wolves to lose to the Pacers. Going to be tough. I think the Grizzlies and Rockets both win. The Wolves will be an interesting game. And as it pertains to tonight's game, Luka and Dorian will most likely, all signs point to them playing with Rui, LeBron, and Trey Jemison out with Maxi Kleber. So we're probably going to see some more Christian Koloko minutes with Dorian Finney-Smith as the backup pseudo 5. But let me know down below what your thoughts are. Jordan Goodwin needs to be converted. Everyone's speaking out about it. See you guys later.